Welcome back to Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelists of the Rosa. So we're continuing this campaign. Go ahead, Whips. You remember your 4Kids voice? Go on.
Ooh, my zombie deck hungers for a taste of you.
Also, what are you wearing?
And yeah, he's called Necromancer in here instead of Bonds. It's weird.
Okay, you know, it's funny. Every time I see the Joe, I always think that that's a name that you made as sort of an homage to Joey's original name in Japanese.
Jonochi. That's Jonochi.
Yeah.
I know. That I always feel like you made that as a weird homage to that name.
What I did is I recorded the first part of this playthrough on my own with my own new game, but then I used the complete save file because there's no way I'm going to spend 100 hours grinding for cards for 2 campaigns. Fuck that shit.
Wait, what does that have to do with the name, though?
Well, I had to get a save file that was already made, that was created and named by somebody else.
And the name is not customizable after the creation, Jova.
No. Well, you could probably with a Game Shark tool you could do that, but whatever, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean at that point, why bother?
Have we gotten to? Well, we've been watching the anime. Did we get to when Bond shows up?
No.
I believe. I think we did actually.
That's the thing, Joe.
Did we?
Around. I think we did because we kind of stopped near the beginning of the virtual reality arc, I think.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay then.
Yeah.
All right.
Typically, that's like one of our
we did it quite a while.
That's
a testament how much things have been lost.
Well, right now.
How long we've been doing this? Like, we technically started back in 2014, which means we've been doing this now for.
Well, the good news.
8 years.
Well, the good news is that the entirety of the original Duel Monsters, before GX, is now available for everybody to watch on Yu-Gi-Oh!.com. So potentially we could restart that if we wanted.
Yeah.
I will say this: my biggest regret is the loss of our old classic Sonic Free and Knuckles playthrough.
Yeah, the demotions run.
Well, look at. Well, Jova, look at.
I'm sorry. The what run, Theo?
Remember, Joe, I mentioned this also in our practical guide. The highlight of that was the fact that because of the fucked up reverse Skype give, I was trying to talk about Blaze and the dimensions. The term came up as demotions, and everyone else ran with it.
Okay. Well, Java, look at it this way. Now, look at it this way. It gives us an opportunity to use Sonic Free Air as the basis for an eventual redo of that.
So basically, because funnily enough, in terms of the dub, Bond shares a voice actress with Taya.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorite recent mods that they made for Sonic Free Air is that they modded it replaces the prototype supersonic theme with the Sonic Origins supersonic theme, but redone using Sonic Free instruments so that it looks properly consistent with the rest of the soundtrack, and it sounds amazing. Like, honestly.
Okay. So I haven't bought Sonic Origins because I'm waiting for the inevitable physical release. Question: did they at least include Big Arms in Sonic Origins?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, that wasn't one of the affected copyrighted tracks.
No. I'm asking about the boss itself. Actually.
No. The boss. Stealth re-implemented much like Sonic Free Complete and Sonic Free Air. Yeah, he basically did the same thing. Like, he re-implemented Big Arms, and there's even a new cutscene that transitions from Launch Base to Mushroom Hill.
Sweet, excellent. That is again. If nothing else, that was one thing I was hoping that Sonic Origins would do, because I'll admit that is one thing I will appreciate when we eventually do redo Sonic Free Knuckles, is like, whether we do the Air version or the Origins version, at least we'll be able to do a version with Big Arms.
I definitely recommend doing Air, because with Air, there's already mods that put that cutscene in Air. See, the thing about Sonic Free and trust me, like, I platinumed the game twice on both PS4 and PS5, so trust me, I've got plenty of experience with the game. See, the thing about Sonic, and yes, Stealth himself even said this, that he had to rush that port. The problem with the Sonic Free port of Sonic Origins is that, I'm not kidding you, Jova, the physics are off. Like, what do I mean by this? Sonic is way too fast than he was in the original game, and as a result, Jova, certain scripted events don't work as they should because Sonic goes by way too fast. It's kind of hard to explain through words, but trust me, if you play Sonic Free, Air, and play Sonic Origins back to back, you'll know exactly what I mean, because
I can sort of understand. The consensus I've gotten is that Sonic Origins is still a good and fine enough board.
it's fine.
It does have those. However, hold on, let me finish. However, it does have those blemishes that if you're very into the franchise, and heck, even if you aren't into the franchise, you'll probably notice. Like, they're not game breakers like some people might suggest.
No.
But it is iffy and off that they are there, and it is clear that Sega could have given the teams working on it more time.
Not to mention,
I've heard it was awful.
I still don't understand.
It is not okay. The consensus is not that it's awful. Does it have problems? Yes, but god awful? No.
I won't go as
heck. Even like, look, put this into perspective.
No, Sonic.
Even reviewing sites who often love to take pot shots at Sonic still do deem Origins as good overall.
No.
As it is.
Oh no, Sonic Colors Ultimate at release was far worse than Origins. Like, it was like...
And that game is thankfully better now, but yeah, like, again, Sonic Origins is by no means the next Sonic Colors Ultimate
It's like...
at launch.
Let me put it this way. It's one of those things where it's just like... It's not the definitive way of playing those games, I can tell you that, because the best way to... Oh,
There we go.
I'll get back to you.
You win!
By doing well, Solver.
By playing card games. Well,
The
that's
zombie
the...
decks are fine.
Zombies!
That's the thing too. Like, honestly, when it comes to the both campaigns, the only thing that really changes is the opponents, because the story, as you can tell, is not exactly anything super elaborate. So
I argue these so far the goons of Kaiba in this version are not that great.
You'd be a fool if you think you've seen the last of me.
Sure.
He was never heard from again.
Exactly. So.
Well, he was in Duel Links.
No, what I mean is that as far as the story is concerned, he's gone. Yeah.
All right, let's leave Exeter then, and
all right. If I remember correctly, next it's Panic. All right. All right. All right. Yeah, I think it was Panic actually, if I remember correctly.
I think he's Pain in the original Japanese dub, but he's Panic in the.
Oh,
sure. I'm more familiar with the 4Kids names. So. See, the thing is,
I know he was also called Panic in the original dub as well. So
usually,
at the very least in the manga.
Yeah, usually when it comes to animes, usually over here we dub the Japanese episodes. However, when it came to animes that were dubbed by 4Kids, over here we always got the 4Kids versions, like except for Sonic X, where we got the UK version of Sonic X. Thanks, UK.
And again, to give 4Kids credit, aside from the obvious infamous censorships they did, I do feel like at least the names that they chose for adapting them over, they made enough sense. Like Junichi, yeah, I can hear Joey in that.
Oh no, I don't have a problem with the names.
Well, that's the thing, Joe. One thing that was kind of funny in the uncut dub of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that they tried to go half and half for Joey. Like, his first name was still Joey, but his last name was his Japanese one.
Yeah, it's it's one of those cases where it's just like me and Libs actually talked about this yesterday on our own. Like, the 4Kids dub has those typical 4Kids isms that are really symptomatic of the early 2000s, you know. Whereas if a Funimation were to make a dub of Yu-Gi-Oh, it would be much different in comparison. But at the same time, the uncut, not first 9 episodes, they're too literal in their translation. Like, it's the other extreme. Like,
Grandpa is taken.
Yeah, Grandpa is taken. What would have been nice would be a middle ground between these two, like something that makes enough changes so that it makes more sense for an English-speaking audience, but at the same time, don't go overboard by removing references to death and shit like that.
Yeah, basically, the positives of the uncut dub, from what I've seen, is that we have the Japanese soundtrack, and the voice actors sans are still as good as they were in the actual 4Kids dub.
Yeah, that's a particularly really big positive for me, because the only tracks from the 4Kids music that I do like and overall really find memorable are the Yu-Gi-Oh theme, of course, and the Egyptian god theme. Actually, never mind. That one is from the Japanese score originally. Never mind.
One card short.
Oh, okay. The vocal songs. Let's go with the vocal songs. I like the vocal songs that 4Kids made for Yu-Gi-Oh! The actual instrumental score, no, I prefer the Japanese score much better. Like, it's much more lively, and much more shonen, and it has that cool shonen energy that you like,
I can agree when it comes to the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Show. However, when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, I kind of have to go with 4Kids' score for that one.
I'm not familiar.
Because it goes hard with the rock and metal.
I'm not really familiar enough with GX to really talk about that. So.
As for the cons of the uncut dub, or should I wait till Tio's done this?
Yeah.
Might be better, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll wait. I'll wait for them.
Alright, Darkness Ruler. Such generic names.
No, don't leave me alone!
Darkness Ruler. God, that's...
Can you be any more generic? Go ahead.
You dare to challenge the dark deck of the Darkness Ruler? Rose Duelist or not, you don't stand a ghost of a chance.
The dark deck of the Darkness Ruler. Wow, the genericness is amazing.
Darkness with Reiku.
You're not even trying, are you? Go on, Drips.
Yeah, as for the cons, sometimes the dialogue was a bit too literal. I mean, literally the only reason it doesn't sound completely unnatural is the voice actors, especially Dan Green.
Hey, look, guys! It's the dark field of the Darkness Ruler with the deck with the dark deck.
You know what? I don't know. It might be just an issue, but I get the idea that these actual duelists prefers a dark deck.
Gee, you think? Go on.
As for the other cons, basically Mai's voice actress in that version is the same actress who did Rouge the Bat and Sonic X and the 4Kids Sonic game.
And yeah, she's bad in that one too.
Yeah, she's not very. She's not very good.
She doesn't enunciate. I have no fucking clue how that woman got into voice acting in the first place, because she's not good at it at all.
Maybe I'm in the minority, but I never really minded her as Rouge.
Same.
I don't know. It's just like
nor did I mind her as Mai either. Honestly,
my problem is her acting, not so much the voice. Like, no, that's not possible. Like it's just like. Ugh, so monotone.
I always felt like she did the whole seductive deep voice fine enough, honestly.
I prefer Lenny Manoa.
Do not get me wrong. Like, if I had to choose between her or Lanny Manoa's Rouge, I'd go with Lanny Manoa. I'm just saying that, for what she did with what she had, she was fine.
I did like Generations Rouge. Who did the Rouge in Generations Dips?
Karen Strassman.
Yeah, I like her. She doesn't. She actually sounds age appropriate. 18,
I can't believe that.
Also, the choice of names were really inconsistent. Like they gave Yugi's grandpa his full Japanese name, and yet they went half and half with Joey. Like, he's still called Joey, but his last name's Kazuya, like it is in the Japanese version instead of Wheeler. He still has the New York accent.
That makes sense.
And but as far as I can tell, no one else got their names changed at all. Like, Yugi's still called Yugimoto. Teia's still called
Yugimoto.
And so does Tristan.
Yugimoto is his actual Japanese original name anyway. So.
That's fine. It's just everyone else aside from that I've just mentioned.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The general inconsistency that some names are kept, to be the Japanese one. Mostly just main characters and everything. I get that, but others are changed for arbitrary reasons. I don't know. It just feels Like they pick and choose what they want.
It's a mixed bag, like but one thing that I really like from the 4Kids dub is a little touch with the maybe. Okay, in the original Japanese dub, they just make it. Oh, they live in Tokyo, and that's it. But I do like the detail that 4Kids came up with, where their city is actually a fictional city called Domino City. Yeah, and that actually does feel like something Kensuke Takahashi would come up with. Actually, like it's a town that's entirely focused on games, so obviously it would make sense to have a game-like name, like Domino City. Yeah, that actually is a fitting name.
This was something that held so tightly that pretty much future shows would also still acknowledge it as Domino City.
Mm-hmm. I mean, whereas in the Japanese version it's just Tokyo and that's it, which again isn't necessarily a bad thing, but Domino City definitely gives it more character.
Yeah, again, look, I know we do like to remember 4Kids for the bad, but I still do want to give them credit where credit is due.
Oh, sure.
They did do legit good things for the dub.
Oh, they did, but their shitty behind the scenes practices definitely made them deserve their fate, definitely.
Oh yeah. I mean, absolutely. Like again, they kind of became a fallen hero by the end, at best, mind you.
So basically, the consent, overall for the uncut dub, if you really want the 4Kids voices that talking over the Japanese score with all references to death kept in and everything.
And the guns, don't forget the guns.
And the guns. And you really don't mind overly literal translations, then the uncut dub is the one for you. All 9 episodes of it that were released.
I mean, I guess it's still better than the Singapore dub, I guess.
Look, Wibs, I'm sorry. It is better than the Singapore dub.
I'm not saying it's worse than the Singapore dub. It's just I admire the attempt for Kids and Funimations as they worked on it together. I admire the attempt they made to try out uncut dubs of their stuff. Not just Yu-Gi-Oh! They also tried the same thing with Shaman King. But you can really tell 4Kids were just really not used to more straightforward adaptations of things. They were more used to their own style of trying to kidify things, for lack of a better term.
Yep.
Wow, 4Kids and Funimation working together. Now there's a sight to behold. Definitely.
It's one of those things where it's just like you take. I guess you just have to take the good with the bad. Yeah, basically. Just to return to my earlier point as well, since there's just card games going on. No. Like I said, honestly, even as someone who's super deep into the classics like I am, now Sonic Origins is definitely okay-ish, definitely. However, it is sadly as not the definitive way of experiencing the classic games, because there are quite a lot of few issues. Not to mention, they didn't really do enough improvements to the stuff that, like, for example, they didn't update the Sonic 1, 2, and CD ports. For example, we can play the fact that we can play as Knuckles in CD, as far as I'm concerned, is just egregious, which is something that fan mods have already taken care of years ago. It really shows how rushed that compilation was.
Correctly, Air can be played through. Well, I mean, Air has to be played through emulators, right?
No, Jova. What Sonic Free Air does is it takes your Sonic Free and Knuckles ROM from Steam, and if you don't have Sonic Free and Knuckles on Steam, don't worry. There are ways of getting a ROM. But what it does, Jova, is it takes the assets from the ROM and creates its own widescreen remake of the game that is in its own original code to be run either on PC or on mobile, because there's a mobile port too.
Well, I do have Sonic Free and Knuckles on Steam. That's how I originally recorded it the first time.
Basically, Joe, what you do is briefly install the Steam version. Go on the folder or the game's folder. There should be Sonic Free _Knuckles.bin file. That's the ROM. Copy paste that, and you should that, because Sonic Free Air doesn't work on its own without the ROM, obviously. So it's just because Yu-Gi-Oh! Doesn't support piracy. So you can just do that, but don't do it vanilla though, because there's some awesome, great mods that you can use to make the game even better. But whatever, let's continue.
Alright, what do we get
See
from
which one you
these?
get.
Tears of the
Tears
The
Mermaid.
mermaid.
But
Big trap and man-eating treasure chest.
see, the other thing about this system is that you only get 3 random cards that your opponent that you just beat has. So you only get cards as long as your opponent has good cards. So there's not even... Oh, go ahead.
No! How could it be? How could I lose? Also that face.
Yeah.
Could say it was destiny.
Yeah, so unlike something like the GBA games, you don't get booster packs. You only get cards that are as good as the opponents you beat. So
who waits us next time?
which just further adds to this being hard to get really good cards. Anyway, the next opponent, I don't remember what the next opponent is. It's one of the two. It's either Pegasus or I forgot who it is.
Are the I forgot what they're called. The guys who use labyrinth wall in this game. The brothers.
One of them. Yeah, one of them. Like,
Paradox Brothers.
yeah,
Paradox Brothers.
yeah. The problem is that it's only one of them here. The other one is nowhere to be seen, and of course he has a different name. But
Okay.
all right. See you for the next part, everybody.
Yeah.